Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I've got some pickups. It's the end of 2024, and these are the last. These are the last of the year. So the first two items are going to be things that I bought most recently, and these were from Cash Generator, which over the years has been a really good source of retro video games. Game 1. The only GBA game I have in this bundle, and it's Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX 3. Weirdly, I didn't know this game existed, or it certainly wasn't in my mind. I'm more than aware of Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX 1 and 2, but not 3. And 3, I think, was a GBA exclusive. It was a GBA exclusive, which I don't know, is weird. That's kind of weird to me. I don't know why that just ended up on the GBA, but it did. This was £3, which is decent, I think. It's not an overly common game, I wouldn't say, because I've never even heard of it, but it looks okay. Like, I thought this was going to be terrible. I haven't played it, but I did look at some footage on YouTube, and I was watching it thinking, that looks shit, and then I watched it some more and was like, no, actually, it looks okay. So, I don't know. It's probably half fun. It's probably half fun, let's say that. But I think £3 for that wasn't too bad. And as for the GBA in general, I collect some GBA, but very specific games, I guess. It's not like with other systems where I'll really kind of branch out. It's just the games that I think are cool, I'll grab if I see them, but I'm not like actively hunting them down. The second game I got was also from Cash Gen, and oh, you saw it. This was just really cheap, and I love Worms, so this was £1.50. It's Worms Open Warfare. As I said, they do really good deals in Cash Gen. Like, I looked at this on CX, I think it was £3, so I think with a lot of games, they give you almost like the voucher price on games, or will give you it quite a bit less than CX, really. So £1.50 for that, in really nice condition, is really decent. And DS is similar for me. It's sort of like a system where I'll pick some games up that I think are cool. Like games like Worms, because it's a classic and I really enjoy Worms. You know, I'll grab that, but I'm not actively sort of hunting DS. There's only one game that I really want on the DS, which is Diddy Kong Racing, because I think that's kind of cool. But that was a nice one. It's £1.50, so it's an absolute bargain. That is all of the Cash Gen stuff. Now I've got one CX pickup, and then it's all eBay, and it's all PS2. But the CX pickup is actually Nintendo. Wii. It's Manhunt 2. It's a £6. I mean, I've got Manhunt on the PS1, and obviously it's unlikely I'll pick up it on the PS2 because it's very expensive. But I always thought that was a weird one that it was so cheap on the Wii. £6 on the Wii. I don't know whether this is a good port of the game. I've no idea. I've never played it, but I just thought that was such a good deal. So it was on the list, basically, and I kept my eye out for it. I saw this one. The disc's pretty nice, you know, I can't complain. I cannot complain. So I just really wanted to grab that, because for me, I'm like, surely that's going to go up in value, and it's just a bit of an oddity. Manhunt 2 on the Wii, so that's cool. Now the PS2s. Okay, we've got a stack of games. As I say, they're all bangers. Like, I only really collect bangers, other than the odd one or two. When I say bangers, I mean cool games, you know, not like necessarily expensive. The first game I've got is Metal Gear Solid 2 Subsistence. Subsistence is the third one, but it has 2 discs. I think there's a DVD or something. Yeah, the document of Metal Gear Solid 2, which is a DVD. Honestly, this is a game that I kind of had it on the list, but I never thought I'd get it. It's one of those games where I thought, I'm just never gonna like see it for cheap. But it came in a bundle, and I was like, sweet. There we are. I mean, I've played Metal Gear Solid 2. I played it in the last 2 years. I can't remember if it was this year, but definitely in the last 2 years. Really enjoyed it. Originally, when I played the game, I think I played it twice. I couldn't get into it. I got stuck on this bit near the beginning and was like, I don't know, it's a weird one. I don't know if anyone had a similar experience. You go into that corridor in Metal Gear Solid 2, and I'm like, I just can't seem to do this. But I love the original game. But anyway, I persevered because I was like, I need to play Metal Gear Solid 2. I need to play the third one as well. But once I got through that, it was really good. Metal Gear is such a cool game. So to have Substance, which is obviously the sort of special edition of the second game, is really cool. This is a cool one. This is a cool one. So this is The Punisher. This is just a game that I wanted because it's I don't know. I guess having the 18s on the PS2, especially the sort of more expensive ones and the ones that have got like a bit of an IP behind them. There's something about it. So this game looks pretty cool. I think it's known for being quite violent. And it was just one that I fancied, so nice to cop The Punisher. That's all I can say about that. I've not played it, but happy with that one. It'd be fun to give it a razz sometime. This one completes the Tenchu set on the PS2. This is Tenchu Fatal Shadows. This is the more expensive of the two Tenchu games on the PS2. Yeah, I imagine it's pretty decent. I mean, I remember playing Tenchu on the PS1 back in the day. It's a very good game, actually, but I've not really played the PS2 games, but there we are, we have it. I think it's £20 in CEX. This one's like more of a cheap game, but is one of those games, Midnight Club. One of those games that you kind of, I would say it's quite hard to find this in okay condition, because often it's battered. I think it's just one of those games that probably got played a lot back in the day. Maybe. This one is pretty decent, you know, not bad at all. So for me, the races on the PS2, the sort of big franchise ones like Midnight Club, and another example would be like Burnout is another good example. I like to have the first one in the series. I don't know why. I think they're just very classic. Something about them. I like the artwork on this, and yeah, there we are. I've never played it, but I would like to, because I do like racing games, especially like old school ones as well. This is one that I wanted, which is Lemmings. For me, with collecting, I would say, and I've said this before, I love to collect like the classic franchises, and I've thought about this. So I think when I say the classic franchises, I think I mean the old school classics, like for example Worms, Lemmings, Doom. Games that were on those early systems. Like I had a PC as a kid, you know, it was like my first games system, if you like, and we had Lemmings on it. So it's these kinds of titles that when they release them on the newer systems, there's something that intrigues me. It's almost like these are the kinds of games that I think they don't even really belong on these newer systems, because it's like they don't have much of a place anymore. It's like they're older games that worked well on those early systems, but now they're just very old hat. But I loved Lemons back in the day. Obviously, it's a classic game, and I just wanted to grab the PS2 port. It does just look like a port of the sort of original, I guess, but I don't know a lot about it. So that is Lemmings. Fry. See if we can get through these with Fry on my lap. This is another game that I would say is in the same category, really. It's like a classic sort of game. Obviously, Echo is known as a Mega Drive game, and this is the PS2 port. I say port. It's obviously a new game. It's not the original Echo, but I never really played Echo the Dolphin much. I don't think anyone did, because it was freaking hard, I guess. I don't think anyone knew how to get past the first level, but this is a game that I wasn't like massively interested in, but it was sort of half on the list, so I imagine I'll probably just keep it. It's an Echo the Dolphin game on the PlayStation 2. That's kind of all I know. It's a 3D Echo game, so that's another one. This is a really cool one, actually, and this is not one that I was looking for actively, but when I copped it off, so I was like, I need to keep that. Which is Capcom vs SNK 2. Fighting game. Looks really cool. I mean, I'm a big, you know, I do love Street Fighter. It's a cracking game. Never played this one, but I imagine it's pretty wicked. So it was just a really cool one to get. I see this as the kind of game where it's only really going to go up in value. I just find with these sort of SNK, Capcom sort of games, that they all seem to be really valuable. This one's not that expensive. It's like 20 quid, but I imagine over the years this one will go up in value a lot, and definitely one I'd like to try. This is one I bought from CX, actually. I forgot. So this is not from eBay, this is from CX. I actually bought this because it was kind of cheap in relation to what I would expect, and it's really, really nice artwork. It was £8. £8. So this is Turtles Mutant Melee. I don't know a lot about this game, but like I say, I saw it and thought £8 for a Turtles game that isn't... There's one on the PS2 that almost looks like a game based on the movie, but the new movie, and it just looks a bit shit. But then there's these ones that are more like cartoony, and these look friggin' awesome. I mean, the artwork on that is absolutely stellar. So obviously when I bought this, it was like, well, I need to grab that. And then when I got home, I was like, well, I gotta keep it because it just looks friggin' awesome. But I've never played it. I assume it's a beat 'em up. It'd be interesting to give it a bash at some point. This next game is the one that I'm not sure whether I will keep or not. This is Alien vs Predator Extinction. The reason why I wasn't sure if I'll keep it or not is because it's a bit rough. There's some wear to the manual and the disc's a bit scratched. It does play. I tested it, but I don't know. Maybe I'll hang on to it and it'll just be an upgrade at some point. But the interesting thing about this game is it's definitely not what I expected. I thought it would just be like an action sort of, third-person game, say. But it's more of a strategy kind of game. It's the kind of game where you'll select... Well, you'll be looking from above and you'll select a group and get them to go and do things. So it's a bit more along the lines of like a Command and Conquer style game, which is pretty cool. I think I've heard half decent things about this game. But yeah, that's the Alien vs Predator game. On the PS2, I don't know if there's any others. I don't think there is. For the eagle-eyed amongst us, this is Maximo versus Army of Zin. So I mentioned this recently because I got the original Maximo and I said I'd love to get the sequel. It popped up, so here it is. So I've completed the Maximo set on the PS2, which is banging. These games actually look really good. They're third-person, sort of medieval platformer action games, and they're based on Ghouls and Ghosts. And the artwork's just freaking lovely. It's just so cool, so nice to have that. This one's like gonna get me some pelters in the comments. This is FIFA 2001. This is a game that's hard to find in good condition. It's a bit tatty up here, but yeah, it's okay. I don't collect FIFA on the PS2, but I kind of wanted this one. There's something about when there's a port of something on the PS1 that's then also on the PS2. For some reason that intrigues me, and this comes under that bracket. Yeah, it's nothing special. It's FIFA 2001, but yeah, it's a bit of a funny one with the FIFA games because I know they obviously have a bad rep, and I understand why, but when you go back to like the PlayStation, the PlayStation 1, those earlier FIFA games, I quite like having those in my collection because they're kind of classic. But then as the years went on, sort of PS2 onwards, I think FIFA games became 10 a penny basically, and they just lost their charm. But those earlier ones, I quite like to have in the collection. Profound. 50-cent Bulletproof. This is a game that I wanted to get actually because it was recommended. I always mention this. It's recommended to me on my PS2 Hidden Gems video. It was kind of like, oh, you should check out 50 Cent's game. So there it is. I've had this previously and sold it on, so it was kind of annoying when I kind of came to that point where I was like, I want that game. So I was like, well, I've already had it. But I had to buy it again. I had 2 copies of this, so one was from eBay, and then I bought one from Doncaster Market as well for like £6, which isn't bad. I think it's about a tenner in CEX. So it has kind of gone up a little bit. It is the kind of game that I could imagine coming back down. I don't think it'll sort of be a valuable game, but let's have a look. But I think it's quite well, thought of, maybe. Yeah, it's a tenner. I mean, there is one on the Xbox 360. Maybe that's meant to be decent, and this one's not. But I don't know. It looks decent anyway. It looks decent. It's probably a bit like a GTA, style game. So that's 50 Cent Bulletproof. And then this is the very last game. This is Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. Mortal Kombat is that series where, I don't know about anyone else, but I find it quite hard to keep track of these games. There's quite a few on the PS2, and I think I've got them all now, other than Shaolin Monks, which is the most expensive one. But the reason I say it's hard to keep track of these is because quite often I'll see Mortal Kombat games and I'll be like, have I got that one? Or was it that other one? But I think I've got like Deadly Alliance, I've got Armageddon, I've got Deception. but they all seem to just melt into one for me. But anyway, that's like one off completing the set. So the last one to get is the more expensive one, which is Shaolin Monks. And I think I looked that up recently, and I'm sure it came down in price. But let me, I could be chatting shit there. Because, I don't know, it was, I bought it from Cardiff and sold it recently. Because I just thought, I don't want to pay full whack for it, basically. And I thought, I'll pick it up another time. And it was 25 on CX. Yeah, it's come down. It's 22 now. Interesting. But I'm sure I'll get it in a bundle at some point. The Mortal Kombat games on the PS2 are a bit of a weird one for me, because obviously Mortal Kombat it's the classic kind of very flat style that I like, and all the PS2 ones seem to be a lot more three-dimensional, so they don't really do it for me. But I just, you know, I'm just ticking them off the list because they're Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat's awesome. Shaolin Monks looks a bit more interesting. Looks more like a beat 'em up. But that's Deadly Alliance anyway. So just one to tick off the list. That's all of the pickups. Pretty decent, you know. I mean, in terms of this year, I've got like friggin' loads of really good PS2 games. Obviously, the list is ever growing. You always look at the list and you're like, God, I still got a lot to get. But I have ticked off a hell of a lot of good titles. And yeah, so I'm going to be doing a video for the end of the year, which I always do, kind of. Which is like just me just summing up the year in terms of the games I've got and what I'm looking forward to next year and what games have been good this year and whatever. So look out for that, and I will talk a little bit more about some of the titles I'll be looking for next year and whatnot. But yeah, that is the year for the pickups. I hope you've enjoyed watching. To anyone who watches, supports and subscribes and comments and all that good stuff, thank you very much. I'll see you very soon with my end of year video.